So I am back at my desk. That can only mean one thing. It's time for my May TBR. So for most of you that have watched my channel, I choose my TBR by playing shot roulette. I do not actually do shots because that would be painful. But I spin the wheel, I put prompts in each of the glasses, whatever number the ball lands on, I pick the prompt from said glass and then choose a book assigned to that prompt. Now, in the past, I have chosen 8 because there are 16 glasses, so choosing 8 was halfway, it seemed fine. But I've realised I don't usually read more than 8 books, so I've been choosing my TBR in a sense of this is every single book I'm going to read, and I didn't really like that because I felt quite restricted and I didn't feel as though I could pick up books I actually wanted to read at the time. I had to pick books that fitted a prompt. So I decided last month to do a month of mood reads. So I chose 4 prompts to assign books to, and then I said I'll just pick up any other books that I fancied at the same time. And that worked really well for me. But I didn't want to just keep doing 4 and 4 because it seemed like a lot of work to do the TBR just for 4 spins, and also it seems like less fun because I like doing the prompts and picking books, and there are so many prompts that I'd like to add a bit more. So I went in the middle. Instead of doing 4 or 8, I am now going to be doing 6 prompts every month, and then if I finish them prompts, I can choose whatever books I like after that. So that seemed appropriate for me. So before we begin, I am going to be taking part in 2 readathons this month, planned ones. There is a good chance I will also be doing a 24-hour readathon, just for fun apparently. I'm going to be taking part in 2 readathons that I know of this month. I may do additional ones if I find them along the way. I may do a 24-hour one. I'm not too sure, but they are possibilities. So far, I am taking part in 2. I am taking part in the Mental Health-a-thon, hosted by Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books, and co-hosted by What Victoria Read and me, Simone, and I. And that is basically reading books that fit mental health related prompts in order to raise awareness for mental health and raise book rep for mental health issues. And it seemed quite important. It's relating to my career and my job, and also I've had mental health problems in the past. Recently, especially being stuck in the house, it's taken a bit of a dip. So I thought that would be really good for me to get involved in. So I have 8 books to read there. My TBR is up already, so I will link that. And yeah, I'm hoping I can fit some of them books into my prompts this month. Otherwise, I'm going to have the 6 prompts plus the 8 books, plus my second readathon, which is Believeathon 2, hosted by How to Train Your Gavin. And that is a middle grade YA readathon, which is immersive. You go on a quest, you pick a path, any path you want, and every time you come against an obstacle, you have to read a book that suits a prompt. Now, I haven't got a TBR for that because what I'm going to be doing is choosing my path as I go along, because I don't want my journey to be swayed by what the prompts are. I want to be there and say, actually, this path looks really good. I want to go this way. And that's how I decided to do it. And I'm actually really excited to do it that way. And it'll be quite fun. So no specific books chosen yet, no specific prompts. But I think it'll be roughly 5 or 6 books there. So again, if I can find some middle grade books to put in somewhere, I will try and incorporate them as much as I can, but there is a good chance those books are going to have to be additional because I can't really include them without knowing what the prompts are. So, instead, I've really set myself up for something, haven't I? Really, it's going to be the 6 prompts and then the 6, I'm going to say 6 prompts for Believeathon 2, which takes me up to 12, and then the additional 8 prompts for Mental Health-a-thon. So I'm going to try and include as many Mental Health-a-thon ones in so that that works out well for me and I don't have to read as many books, because quite honestly, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. Before we start, I actually want to talk to you about the books that are actually currently needing to be on my TBR for Mental Health-a-thon and just for personal things as well. So there are quite a few books on my mental health-a-thon TBR that I don't own. I'm borrowing them from my online library or getting them via audiobook, you know, those methods. So that's okay. But there are some physical books I have, and I want to tell you what they are because I'll show you them, and then ideally I'll find a way to fit them in if the prompts say so. Hopefully that'll work. So the first book for Mental Health-a-thon, and that is, what is it? I can't remember what the prompt is. Well, that's crap. So the book is Torn Apart by James Patterson and Hal Friedman. This is a book that deals with the loss of a child and how that affects the parents. It's actually a non-fiction book, and it happens to the man Hal Friedman, and he loses his son. And I'm not really sure what James Patterson has to do with this. Maybe he just helped write the story and Hal Friedman's not really a writer. But this is on my mental health-a-thon. I can't actually remember what the prompt is. It's either non-fiction, which could also be another book that I'm going to show, or it's something else. Next, I have Jackie Haha. That is also part of my mental health-a-thon. This is a middle grade book. It's actually dealing with this young girl, Jackie Haha, who basically uses comedy as a way of forgetting her problems and distracting herself, because it says that her mum is away fighting in a war, her dad is hardly ever home, and she has 6 sisters to take care of as well, and they're all home alone. And to cope with that trauma, that sadness, she is a comedy queen. She makes jokes, she just makes people laugh because that is a way she deals with it. And really that sticks with me because, you know, I am a very comedic person. I have been funny because I didn't want to deal with issues, and it sticks with me, and really I love it because it's a middle grade book dealing with serious issues, and I think she's going to be such a relatable character, not just for me but for some young children out there. And it's important to get things like that and messages like that to children. So I'm really looking forward to reading that and seeing how these issues are handled. So again, don't remember the prompt. Next is Tony Maguire, Don't Tell Mummy. And this is also a non-fiction, and I think this is the non-fiction prompt. But if it's not, I will put it up there again. If there's nothing there right now, then it's the non-fiction prompt. And this is a true story about, I'm assuming it's the author, and it's about, let me see. And it's about a young girl that was abused by her father when she was younger, and I have a feeling she told her mum, and her mum just basically said, don't talk about it, shut up. And it talks about how she's dealing with that in her adult life. They're very hard-hitting books, and I made it clear during my mental health-a-thon TBR, I don't know if I'm in the right headspace for hard-hitting books, especially with us all being inside right now. Sometimes you're just not in the mood, and I don't want to deteriorate my health by forcing myself to read books like this and any of the books discussed already. So I'm not necessarily going to stick to them, but I want to try, and what I've said is I'm going to read what I can, and then if I feel as though it's too much or I need to stop, then I will stop. So what I'm going to try and do is prioritize the books I physically own, so that way it's a lot easier than renting them from the library. And then if I can't handle it, I just won't read the ones from the library. But if I've got the physical copies, it seems like the perfect time to actually get them read. So I'm going to try my hardest to get these ones done. I just need to see if I can fit them in. If not, they're going to be additional on the 6 here, and then the Believathon ones, and then my next book, which I am currently doing. You will potentially know, I don't want to assume you watch my videos, but you may potentially know I started reading The Mortal Instruments last month, and I vlogged my experience because I'd never read them before and it was my first time. So I wanted to vlog my first time experience of reading the Mortal Instruments series, and really the entire Shadowhunter Chronicles when I get round to them. So the Infernal Devices, the Dark Artifices, all of them. And last month I read City of Bones and I loved it. I thought it was a great book, one of my favourite reads of the year, and I did that as a buddy read with a book fiend named Mel, and we've said we want to continue. I want to read the next one in the series, so what I want to try and fit in is City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare. And I don't know where it'll fit, I don't know what prompts it might fit, but I do really want to put it in there. I'm definitely going to be reading it no matter what. It is a lot shorter. Is that right? Yeah? Yeah, it is. It's nearly 100 pages shorter than the first book, so it should be a bit easier for me to read this time. But I'm really looking forward to reading this no matter what. Same with all of them. I'm going to read them no matter what. But if I can fit them into the prompt, it will just take a lot of the pressure off. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So, sorry to bore you with that. I just wanted to get that information across earlier. Time for the actual spins. So, as usual, the 0 is not on any of the shot glasses containing a prompt. So what I've been doing is adding a random challenge so that if I land on the 0, I have to do that challenge regardless of what it says. So this month, the challenge will be every time I DNF a book, I have to unhaul it. Which might not seem like much of a challenge. Obviously, if I DNF a book, it means I don't like it and I will unhaul it. But there are some books that I have DNF'd in the past and just thought, I'm not in the right mind space for them. Maybe I will just try again later. So this time, get a 0, unhaul any book I DNF. Or any book I don't read that is on my TBR by the end of the month. So, the first of 6 spins is... Black 22. So the first one is Black 22. So let's see what the first prompt of this month will be. A book with a number in the title. Oh, this is quite interesting. I love it when I get new prompts because this... Oh. Okay. I'm loving it. So for this prompt, I chose the 10,000 Doors of January. Now, I recently hauled this book this year sometime. Really, I got it because of the hype. I wasn't sure of any of the plot. Then I found out that the plot was actually not what I thought it was. So I kind of put off reading it, but this is perfect. I actually did a video, which I will link above, where Brooke from Brooke's Books and I played a rate the books by the first line and choose my next reads. And this book was one of them. Brooke basically ranked the 5 books that I chose based off their first line in order. This was one of the books, so I wanted to get it read so that I can actually read them all and then put down what my overall feelings were, whether Brooke rated them correctly or whether she's just really bad at choosing books for me. So, I don't really know the plot of this book. I go into books blind the majority of the time. I'm probably not going to get to this one first because I'm probably going to want to get my mental health-a-thon books out of the way a lot quicker. So this will probably be like the end of the month easy read for me. So I'm going to read the plot because chances are I'll forget what the plot is by the time I actually come to read it. Every story opens a door. In a sprawling mansion filled with peculiar treasures, January Scholar is a curiosity herself. As the ward of the wealthy Mr. Locke, she feels a little different from the artefacts that decorate the halls, carefully maintained, largely ignored, and utterly out of place. But her quiet existence is shattered when she stumbles across a strange book, a book that carries the scent of other worlds and tells a tale of secret doors, of love, adventure, and danger. Each page reveals more impossible truths about the world, and January discovers a story increasingly entwined with her own. Now, it sounds interesting. It sounds like a really fun fantasy that'll take her into a world. A bit like Alice in Wonderland. She basically just goes falling into a new world, but hopefully a lot better than Alice in Wonderland because I really hated that. So I am really looking forward to this book. I kind of put off reading it because I don't really know what I expected the plot to be. I just bought it because of the hype, but I'm kind of feeling it. I think this is the perfect time for me to read it. I think it'll be a feel-good book and it'll just be kind of magical and fun. So I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm really glad I've got this one actually. Next spin. Black 17. So next I got Black 17. So let's see what this prompt will be. I'm very looking forward to it. Oh, a co-authored book. I've got so many co-authored books. This is going to be easy. I love it. Now, for this prompt, I managed to fit in one of my mental health TBRs. Co-authored book, Torn Apart. James Patterson, Hal Friedman. It was co-authored. It says it right there. I can't use that as any other reason. And it's just perfect. It fits in with this current prompt. It fits in with my mental health TBR prompt. And really, I do really want to read this book. I'm really interested in it. I'm really interested to see how James Patterson does a non-fiction book, especially when it deals with issues like this. And I'm really glad. Reading the back actually makes me feel like I was wrong. I thought this was a book about losing a child, and it's been written by Hal Friedman, so I assume the main character in this is Corey Friedman, and that's his child. I assumed his son passed away and Hal had to deal with that. But it says here, Corey Friedman was an ordinary, fun-loving little boy, but one fateful March morning in 1989, Corey's life changed dramatically and was left in tatters. Corey had developed a rare combination of neurological conditions. The life he knew had been torn apart, and his family were left watching him suffer. Desperate to help, they embarked on a 15-year struggle which took them beyond breaking point. Now that doesn't sound like the child lost his life fairly early on, but it actually makes me really more interested to know what's going on now, because I originally chose this because I thought it would be doing with loss of a child, which I have a lot of experience in because I'm actually trained to deal with the fallout from losing a child. So that really interested me, and now actually I don't think that's what it's about. So I'm really interested to actually read this and see what it is about. Spin 3. Oh. So I'm fairly sure that has happened every single month up to now. So, spin 3, take 2. Black 33. Third one, Black 33. Got quite a lot of blacks. I hope we get some reds in here. Well, it's very biased really, isn't it? A thriller. This is my month. I'm living for this month. I need more months like this. Next, I love a good thriller. I'm so glad I've got many, many thrillers on my shelves. And another one that was chosen on my pick a book based off its first line by Brooke was The Store by James Patterson and Richard DeLallo. And this was on there. I've read the back. It sounds okay. Basically, it's like a bit of an Amazon situation where this store has everything you could ever possibly want, but it can kind of read your mind and give you things that you didn't really know you wanted. It was just in your head at the time. And it seems a bit creepy, and it's about a character basically trying to uncover the truth about it, and it gets him into a lot of dangerous situations. So I am looking forward to reading it. I don't think I rated this fairly highly on my list, and I know Brooke didn't either. It just the first line sounded very basic, and the plot sounds okay, but nothing spectacular. So I have kind of middle hopes. I'm hoping that it proves me wrong. We'll see, won't we? So this month we seem to be favouring the blacks. I'm hoping I get a red soon. Black 29. So my fourth pick of the month was Black 29. So we can only hope and see what this one is. I hope that my good book streak continues. Oh, that's really good actually. A book from NetGalley, because I have quite a few unread books. So that'll be quite good for me to actually get some of them off there, because I don't want it affecting my streak. Plus I do have some books that are actually due out in May, so it'd be really good for me to read them. Right, okay, so that'd be good. I just need to pick one of them. Perfect. Now, the next book for my NetGalley book, I have a book coming out on the 7th of May. So I'm going to be reading this book really, really soon, because I need to get it done and reviewed, well, before the 7th of May when it is released. And that book is Little Secrets by Jennifer Hillier, or Hillier, I don't know, depends how posh you are, I suppose. And It's a NetGalley book. I don't actually know that much about the book, so that'll be interesting. I'm going into it blind. I don't want to know anything about it now because it'll be one of the first books I read, so I don't want to know the plot before I go into it. I don't like knowing plots of books before I go into them. So I'll see. I like being surprised because, as proven with The Store, I've read the plot, like on the back, I've read the synopsis, I've read the blurb, and now I'm really not interested. I'm not excited to read it. So if I go into a book blind, I don't have any preconceptions of what I expect, so I prefer that. And as I'm reading this book fairly soon, I'm going to try and avoid that. So it's been 5 of 6. Black 6. So for the 5th time in a row, I got a black 6. I don't know why every time I get so nervous doing this. So, a charity shop find. Perfect. So many of my books are charity shop finds, but I'm loving it. Now, for a charity shop find, again, perfect. It includes one of my mental health-a-thon TBR, Don't Tell Mummy by Tony Maguire. As you can see, there is actually a little sticker saying that I got this book for 99p from a charity shop. So that is the proof that it is a charity shop find and I have not just cheated to get it in. I don't see the point in cheating in these TBRs. I always see people say, just so you know, I haven't biased this or I've not cheated in any way. Like, it's your TBR. You choose what you want. Like, no one's going to accuse you of cheating if you read a book you want to read. Like, I get it. I feel absolute anxiety attacks in case it lands on the same number twice, in case people think I'm cheating. But at the same time, I have to tell myself, like, realistically, no one is going to accuse me of cheating and go mad about it because it's my choice, essentially. And I do want to read this book. Told you a bit about the book already. I'm glad it's on. I'm glad I could fit it in because that is just already, I've taken 2 books off my TBR, which I am really glad about. So, final spin of the month. Am I going to get a red or is it going to be an entire month of blacks? Red 30. Finally, it happened. I got a red. I got red 30. Can you see it? There you go. So let's see what my final prompt of the month will actually be. A book for my 100 books to read before I die list. Okay. I think I got this last month as well. And I read that book. Okay, this will be actually quite good. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Perfect. And finally, this may be surprising for some people to know, but there is actually an updated 100 books to read before you die list, and that is my 100 books to read that I'm following. Because the original 100 books to read before you die list included a lot of classics, which are well and good. Some classics need to be on the 100 books to read. There are some amazing stories on there, but it also included stories like the Bible, which is a really big book, and quite honestly, I'm not religious. I don't want to read the book for fun. So I had a look to see if there was any updated books, because when it was written, fair enough, they were the best books, they were the 100 books, but it's not taken into account any book since then. So I looked for an updated one probably about 3 years ago, so it might have even changed now, but the current list that I am using lists The Mortal Instruments as one of them books, as one of the 100. It actually lists the entire series. This new updated 100 books to read includes loads of series, so it's not actually 100 books. So it's like I'm sure it's about 350 books in the 100 books, because a lot of them are series. And The Mortal Instruments was one. So, perfect. I am using City of Ashes. And just to prove, actually, give me one moment. That was common. Here is the 100 books updated version, and it includes some classics, you know, Pride and Prejudice, Lord of the Rings. It's got Harry Potter on there now. I don't know if it originally did, but it's got Wuthering Heights, To Kill a Mockingbird. But it's got some updated ones now. So it's got Percy Jackson on there, The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, A Series of Unfortunate Events. And just to prove it, Let's see if I can find it now because I'm backwards. There, is it just going to be blurred? Basically, oh my god, this isn't going well. There. The Mortal Instruments. It is on the list. It also has series like the James Bond series, The Women's Murder Club by James Patterson, living for it. It has 50 Shades of Grey books, which I don't know why they're on this list, but they're on this list. Pretty Little Liars, but it has stuff like Gone with the Wind, Boy in the Striped Pyjamas. It has The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling, which I've just DNF'd that, so I feel like I'm going to have to pick that up again eventually. But you see my point. It's got some of the classics on, but it also has a lot of updated books that are now considered essential to read before you die. So, City of Ashes does count. Some of you might not agree, but it is on my list, my personal list of 100 books to read. So, that is what I am going with. So, if you don't agree with that, sorry, but my rules. So they are my 6 books. I did not manage to include Jackie Haha in any of them, so that'll be the 7th book I have to read. I'm also planning an additional buddy read with Kaylee, and I will link her below. She gifted me recently A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and we said we was going to buddy read that, so there is a good chance that will be added onto my list as well, which brings my total TBR up to 8. Then I have the rest of my mental health-a-thon TBR if I can, or if I feel able to do that, and then Believe-a-thon, which is 2 weeks. So I need to get all these books really done within 2 weeks, unless I can really speed my way through Believe-a-thon. So I'm just gonna take it as it comes. Really, I'm gonna go really slow and just enjoy the books I have. So these are my current TBR books. Hopefully you like them. Hopefully I like them. That's more important than you liking them. I'm sorry, but it is, because I'm reading them. And hello darkness, my old friend. Bye book. And that is it from me. So thank you for watching my TBR. If you know of any of these books and you want to give your opinion and let me know whether I should look forward to or dread reading these books, please let me know. Other than that, I post every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday, and until next time, I will see you later.